this is not your first lecture for the week. So yeah, I'm sure we are now warmed up and ready to get the semester underway. I've just shared my screen with you guys. Now let's see. Morning, Mahadi. Let me just get the slides. The slides for learning unit 1. Okay, as you guys know, we're now doing accounting 1B. Okay, and I should warn you, accounting 1B is more detailed than accounting 1A. So we just need to be on top of our game from the word go. Okay, but that said, I have got no doubt in my mind that you guys are more than capable of doing just that. Okay, awesome. So yeah, once again, welcome to everybody who's just logged in. I see the numbers have just increased as well. I think we'll get straight to it. No wasting of time. We're on learning unit 1, okay? And this learning unit is called Bank Recon. Actually, I haven't put the title of the unit on the slides, but that's okay. It's called Bank Recon, and I hope you guys have your textbooks, because we will be doing an exercise, at least one exercise today. Okay. All right. Now I know you guys are familiar with this slide. You've seen it in a lot of my slides last semester, so this shouldn't be brand new to you this semester either. Okay. But you'll see why I've included in this bank reconciliation unit. Okay, that's the accounting cycle, nothing new there either. All right, now the bank reconciliation procedure, they give you 2 procedures in your textbook. Okay, and this is the first one. I do not recommend you use this one. All right, still could work for you, but I recommend that you use the second, the alternative one, all right, which you find on page 14 or thereabout. Okay, you guys might be using a book that the pages are slightly different from the one that I have. Okay, all right, but this is the one that I recommend to you, and let me zoom in so I can show you why. The reason is because of the first step that we have over here. Okay, so quickly to run down, what are we doing with bank reconciliation? What's the whole purpose of this thing we call bank reconciliation? So when it comes to bank reconciliation, you have let me start here actually. As you guys know, we have a bank account in our books, all right? In our books. So we're recording all the transactions that affected our bank account in our books, okay? But then we also have a bank account with FNB or with Standard Bank or with ABSA, etc, etc, okay? Discovery Bank, etc, etc. Maybe even Investec, who knows? All right, so that bank account, right? Because that bank account is supposed to be a reflection of what we have in our books. That means that the balance that we have on the bank account should be the very same balance that we have in our bank books. All right, so if the balance on the bank statement with our Discovery Bank account, business account, if that balance does not equal the same balance that we have in our books for our bank T account, all right, in the general ledger, then we have a problem, okay? Then we have a problem. Okay, and so that's what the bank reconciliation process or bank reconciliation is all about. It's about ensuring that we have the same balance on our bank statement or bank account, all right, as we have in our bank T account in our books. Okay, right. Having said that, let's get into these steps. So step number one, we're comparing last month's bank reconciliation statement with this month's bank reconciliation statement. Why are we doing that? We're doing that because a bank reconciliation statement is a document that we send over to our bank, that being Investec, saying that you guys forgot to do this, that, and the third. Okay? And when they then make those amendments, they will then have the same balance that we have on our bank account in our books. Okay, so our first point of our first step is that we need to check, did they actually implement the corrections we recommended to them for July's bank reconciliation statement in August's bank statement? Okay, then step number two, after we've done that, we then also want to check the bank column in the cash receipts journal. Is it the same as the credit column in the bank statement? Okay, do we have the same amounts there? Are there things that are left out of either of those documents? If so, then we need to obviously take note of that, identify them. Then step number three, we're looking at the cash payments journal this time, looking at the bank column in the cash payments journal, and we're saying, are there amounts there, payments that we made? Remember, it's the cash payments journal that we don't see in the bank statement on the debit side of the bank statement. Okay. Then finally, sorry, excuse me. Step number four. Whatever is in the bank statement that is not in the cash books, we then have to amend our cash books to include those things. All right, and then subsequently, since our cash payments journal and our cash receipts journal have changed, our general ledger bank account will also change. So we need to make that amendment as well. Then moving on to step five. Step five, you'll see that we actually do it simultaneously whilst we're doing step two and step three. Step five, we're identifying items in the cash receipts journal and cash payments journal not included in the bank statement, okay? And vice versa. Things in the bank statement that are not included in the cash payments and cash receipts journal. Okay, so this step we're doing simultaneously in steps two and three. After we've identified the things that need to be included in the bank statement but weren't, we then take those things wherever the bank makes an error or has forgotten to do something, that is corrected in the bank reconciliation statement, okay, which we're going to send to them. All right, so that's step number 6. All right, compiling the bank reconciliation statement. We then send the bank reconciliation statement to Investec or our bank. Okay, right. Okay, and then step number 7 is to reconcile. The bank reconciliation statement with the balance on the bank account in the general ledger. Okay, cool. Right. Now, if that flew over your head, don't worry. I hope you just got me theoretically as to what we are actually doing, just understanding in a nutshell what's happening here. We are going to step right into a exercise, that being question 1.9. Okay, so if you can open question 1.9 in your textbooks, that would be great. Okay, I want you guys to open up question 1.9. Okay, and then I will, in the meantime, flip over to where we will actually be doing this exercise. Right, said 1.9. 1.9. All right. So guys, I can't hear you. Oh, sorry, Kiketo. I'm only seeing your message now. Funny enough, I was actually about to say this, that if you want to say something, I don't hear the chat go off either because I'm talking or because it just isn't making a noise. Feel free to switch on your mic and interrupt me. I'm more than welcome it. Okay. But yes, I will be zooming in moving forward so you guys can see clearly. So we will be doing that moving forward. All right. Can you give me a thumbs up if you are at question 1.9 in your textbooks and you are ready to go? I also would like you guys to be holding a pencil or a clutch pencil, one of the two. Okay, please, please, please. I need you guys. I know we're online, but I need you guys to be doing this with me. All right, so thank you, Musa. Thank you, Tahir. Thank you, Tino. All right, guys, let's get those pencils next to the question as well, and you will see exactly why I am saying that. If you don't do this, trust me, you will be left behind and you will be a bit confused as to what's going on. Okay. Thank you, Mahadi. Thank you, Tapiwa. Thank you, Tino. All right, cool. Awesome stuff. If you read the required, like we always do with finance and accounting questions, you'll see there it says, use the information taken above to complete the following for March 2008. Okay, what do they want us to do? Identify any differences identified in the bank reconciliation process in a supplementary cash book receipts and cash book payments with columns for details and amount. Begin with the totals before any amendments. Okay, that's number one. Number two, open, post to, and balance the bank account in the general ledger. Okay, that's number two. Number three, compile the bank reconciliation statement as at 31 March 2008. Cool, no problem. All right, then at the beginning of the question it says the following information was taken from the books of Lane Traders for February and March. Table of items appearing in the bank reconciliation statement as at February 2008. Okay. So this is the bank reconciliation for February. Okay. Then if you go down, we see bank statement. All right. For March. Okay. Cool. Then if we flip the page, we see additional information. No problem. Then we see the check counterfoil. All right. For March. And we see deposit slips for March. Okay. Cool. No problem. Now, let's go back to our slides. All right, and when you guys practice this, I want you to be practicing it with the steps nearby, okay? And then obviously in your test and exam or whatever, you won't actually have these steps. So you're going to need to have these you're going to need to know these off the top of your mind. Okay, and the only way to do that is to practice, practice, practice. So step number one, compare last month's bank reconciliation with this month's bank statement. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, I hope that's sufficient. Okay, we'll just shift as we go from step to step. Okay, another thing that we can do, what is slideshow years from current slide? That's what I want. Okay, and then let's not allowing me to zoom in. Okay, so I think we'll just zoom in here. Okay, that's fine. Cool. So step number one, compare last month's bank statement to this month's bank statement. Okay, cool. No problem. All right. So guys, I know we're online, but I need your engagement here. All right. So you've got your pencil in your hand. We're comparing amounts. Okay. If you look there in the table, the bank reconciliation statement table, you'll see there balance as per bank, the very first line, unfavorable. So put that in brackets so we know that it's negative. Then we see, okay, if you look at the bank statement just below that table, we see balance, and can you see it's the exact same? 43,789.90 cents. Okay, cool. So that's cool. Next thing that we are now looking at is the very next amount, outstanding check. Okay, 958 Rand 42 cents. So what we are looking for is to see, is this amount in the bank statement? Have they included it? Because remember, we sent February's bank reconciliation statement at the end of February so that they could make the necessary amendments in the month of March. Okay, so we're looking for that amount on the debit side. Why do I say on the debit side? Okay, if you look in your bank statement, you have a debit side and you have a credit side. Okay, now the debit side in your bank account, should I say your bank statement, is actually the negative side. It is when money is leaving us. Okay, and then the credit side in your bank statement is actually when money is coming in. Now some of you are already asking, but sir, I thought you taught us that the bank account is an asset and it increases on the debit and decreases on the credit. And I will tell you, yes, that is exactly what I taught you, and that is 100% correct. Okay, but here's the thing. When we look at the bank statement, our bank account to the bank that we are banking with, in this case, Nguni Bank, they look at our bank account as a liability. Why is it a liability to them? Because they owe us the money that is inside our bank account. Okay, so it is a liability to them. Okay, so therefore we know liabilities increase on the credit side and decrease on the debit side. Okay, so we're not on the slides now, so I'm sure you would be seeing what we're seeing. So if you're not on the slides right now, that is correct, Tapiwa. Okay. All right, and we'll go to the slides at a later point. Now I just want us to get through these steps. Okay. Right. Cool. So, okay, now that I've highlighted that, so this outstanding check, when we're looking for this amount, we're looking for it on the debit side. So we scroll down through the debit side. Do we see a 958.42 cents? I do not see it. Okay, so we circle this amount because it was supposed to have been addressed. And next to it, you're going to write BR for bank reconciliation. Why are we doing that? Because if they do not fix something that we highlighted in the bank reconciliation for the month of February, in the month of March, they did not fix it, then we send it in, we put it into the bank reconciliation statement for March, okay? To re-highlight it to them that, guys, you still have not fixed this error, all right? Or you still have left out this amount. Okay, cool. Then we move on to the next one. Outstanding check CC 1120. All right, and the amount we're looking for there is 1,916.85 cents. Now somebody tell me, do you guys see that on the debit side in the bank statement? Yes or no in the chat? 1,916 Rand 85 cents. Do you see that in the debit side in the bank statement? Yes or no? Thank you, Tapiwa. No, it's not there. Okay, so we circle that amount as well, and next to it you can just write BR. And this is why I was saying Get your pencils out because I need you guys to be doing this on your textbooks. All right, cool. So we've done that. Then we move on to the next outstanding check, CC1121. 2,875. Is it there in the bank statement? Yes, it is. Okay, on the first. Okay, right below the balance on the debit side. So we tick off that amount in the bank reconciliation. Thank you, Clement. Thank you, Kiketo. It definitely is. So we tick that amount off in the bank statement, and we tick that amount off in the bank reconciliation, because that lets us know, okay, this amount has been dealt with. We don't need to worry about it anymore. We go to the next one, outstanding deposit. A deposit is obviously money coming in. So what do? We look on the credit side this time on the bank reconciliation. Okay, we look on the credit side. And can we see this 1,677 Rand, 24 cents? Is it there? Thank you, Tapiwa. It is there. So what do? We tick it off in the bank statement, and then we also tick it off in the bank reconciliation. Okay, we know that it has been dealt with. Then the next one, correction of bank error on check CC 942 with Nguni Bank, understated the amount of the check on the bank statement. Okay, all right, so check error on check understated the amount of the check on the bank statement. Okay, cool. So then we look, this is basically, we wrote out a check and they didn't fully, the amount they wrote is not the same as what we wrote. They wrote an amount that was less than, because they understated it. So this amount needs to be on the debit side. So we look, is there a 2,396 cents? Yes, it is there. Thank you, Tapiwa. So we tick that off, and we tick it off in the bank recon. Okay, happiness. We have now completed our step one. Okay, see, step one, compare last month's bank recon with this month's bank statement. Okay, we have done that. Okay, right. Next step. Okay, should have read it out before switching over. Where is that? Okay, there we go. Next step is to then compare your cash receipts journal column with that of your bank statement. All right, so let's flip the page. Okay, so we don't actually have our cash receipts bank column, but what do we have? We have deposit slips. Deposit slips are evidence of whenever money has come into the business, okay? And now we are just depositing that same money into the bank account. So these deposit slips, right, are a reflection of the money that also came into the business, okay? So this is the same as having a bank column for our cash receipts journal, okay? All right. So that's what we're going to use to compare to the credit side, which we know where money is coming into our bank account. Okay, right, cool. So the first amount that we have there is that 21,673 Rand, okay, 30 cents. And is that in the credit side on your bank statement? Thank you, Karabo. Yes, it is. If you look on the first, it's the last transaction on the first, on the credit side. So we tick that off in the bank statement, and we tick it off in the deposit slips table as well. Then we go to the next amount, 23,737. Is it there in the bank statement on the credit side? Yes, it is there. And then we tick it off as well in the deposit slips table. Move to the third one, 8,256, 49 cents. Is it there in the bank account? Yes, it is there in the bank statement on the 12th. First transaction on the 12th. Okay, awesome stuff. Thank you, Karabo. Awesome stuff. Then next deposit, 17,000. $17,545.05. $17,545.05. Do we have it in the bank? Yes, we do. On the 19th. All right, on the credit side. Okay, we've got that there. We tick it off in the bank statement. We tick it off in the deposit slips table. Then we go to the second last amount in the deposit slips table, $9,288.56. Okay, where did they make an error? Is it a common? Okay, all right. So here's what I like to do, guys. So let's deal with the errors when we get into the additional information, because the additional information will confirm or will also give us more insight as to whether they made an error or not. Okay, so for now, let's just park that, whatever error you guys may be talking about, and then we'll see it soon enough. Okay, right. But I'm glad you guys are picking up on that. I'm just trying to give you the smoothest and easiest process, because this is about mastering the process. Once you know what to do at each stage, you'll be perfectly fine. Okay, right. So if we look for that 9,288.56, you'll see that it is not there. Okay, so we circle that amount and we put BR, bank recon. Okay, then we look for that last amount there in the deposit slips, and we look for 22,705.36, and we see it is also not there. So we circle that and we put bank recon, because we know whatever amount the bank has not included or whatever error the bank has made, we rectify it in the bank recon. Okay, so we've dealt with that, but now we have one more thing to do before we can move on to the next step. It's now to look through the bank statement on the credit side and see, are there any amounts in the bank statement that are in the bank statement but not in the cash receipts journal? Have we received money? Okay, that's in the bank statement but not in the cash receipts journal. And if you look on the 7th, you'll see we didn't tick off that amount. So you circle that 1,922 Rand 21 cents and you write CRJ next to it. Okay, we need to include that in the CRJ. And then on the 21st, you see direct deposit SARS. Circle that 3,833.69 cents and you put CRJ next to it. Okay, now when you've done that, we now need to go to the next step. Okay, and the next step, according to our process, step 3, is to then compare the cash payments column to that of the bank statement. Okay, and that's the debit side in your bank statement. Okay, cool, no problema. We're going to do exactly that. Okay, so again, we don't have a cash payments journal, but what do we have? That table that we have, check counterfoils. Those are payments. We know this is a source document for a payment. Okay, so therefore, these check counterfoils are the same. These amounts, it's the same as having a cash payments journal. So we just need to look for these amounts and see, do they appear in the bank statement? Okay, right. So firstly, that 3,527 Rand, 38 cents. Do we see it in the debit side? Yes, we do. On the 2nd, okay, is this. So you tick it off in the bank statement, you tick it off in the check counterfoil column or table. Next one, 1,322 Rand, 77 cents. It's there on the 4th. On the debit side, tick it off in the bank statement. tick it off in the check counterfoil table. Next one, check 1124. That 146 rand, is it there? Nope, it's not there in the debit side. So we circle it and we can write bank recon next to that. Okay, move on to the next one, 2,645. It's there on the 11th. Tick it off in the bank statement, and you tick it off in the check counterfoil table. Boosie, I see your hand went up. Please feel free. You can switch on your mic. Boosie, did you have a question? Oh, please slow down. Hey. I'm scared we won't finish if I slow down. But okay, guys. Oh, Kickers, I also see you have the same comment. Right. Okay. I will try to slow down. So where were we? We were on check number CC 1125. All right, and we checked to see if that 2,645 54 cents was in the debit side or in the bank statement. And if you look on the 11th, it's the only transaction on the 11th, it is there. So we are then ticking off that amount in the bank statement, and we are ticking off that amount also in the check counterfoil table, right? Then we go on to the next one. We look for that 293 rand 94 cents, and somebody tell me there in the chat, is it there in the bank statement? Can we tick this off amount? Can we tick this amount off? Yes or no? Yes, it is there. Okay, it's there. I see it, Tapua, and a few others on the 14th. All right, so we tick it off. All right, and then we go back. We see, okay, on the 18th in the check counterfoil table, let's see there. Nope, it's for the exact same amount on the 14th. I see 293 rand 95 cents, and on the check counterfoil I also see 293 rand 95 cents, sorry. Okay, right, I think you're maybe thinking of, okay, no sweat, no sweat. Right, then on the 18th in the check counterfoil table, if we look at that 1,175 80 cents, is it there? We're gonna address that. I'm happy that you've picked that up, Kike. So we're gonna address that because we're gonna see that in the additional information as well. For now, I just want us to stick to one thing, finish off that, and then we will look into the errors and things that are left out as well. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm gonna go on. So do we have that 1,175? Somebody tell me, is it there in the bank? Yes, it is in the bank. Okay, thank you very much. So we tick it off in both tables again. It's there on the 19th, okay, in the bank statement. Then on the 22nd, we have a 1,616 rand 72 cents. That too is there in the bank statement. If you check on the 23rd on the debit side, you'll see that it's there. So you tick it off in the bank statement and you tick it off in the check counterfoil table. Then on the 26th in the check counterfoil table, we have an amount of 734 rand 87 cents. And we see that it is there in the bank statement on the 27th. So we tick it off there, and we tick it off in that check counterfoil table. Then we go to the next one on the 28th in the check counterfoil table. We see 1,976 Rand and 81 cents. And if you look in the bank statement, you'll see that it's actually not there. It isn't there. So what do? We circle that amount so that we can see this hasn't been dealt with, and then you write, what do we write next to it when we see that the bank has not recorded something or has made an error? Thank you very much. We record BR next to it. Thank you, Tapiwa. Thank you, Musa. Thank you, Karabo. We put BR next to it. Okay. And then we also see that the very next amount, that 1,256.63 cents, is also not in the bank statement. So we also are going to circle that amount and then also put BR next to it, so we know we need to record these in the bank recon. Okay, awesome stuff. Okay, so we've now dealt with, let's look at our steps. We've now dealt with, oh no, we haven't actually. Woo, my bad. One thing we've forgotten to do. If we look in the bank statement on the debit side, somebody tell me, are there amounts that are in the bank statement on the debit side that we have not ticked off? Yes or no? I just need a yes or a no. Yes, there are amounts. 100% Tino. Thank you very much, Karabo. Thank you, Tapua. There are amounts that we have not ticked off. Now, all those amounts that we have not ticked off, I need you to put a circle around them, all right, on the debit side. And I need you to write next to them CPJ. Okay? I need you to write CPJ next to them. Okay? Because if it's on the debit side, in the bank statement, all right, that means that's money leaving our bank account, all right? And if we haven't ticked it off by now, that means that we haven't had these amounts in our cash payments journal. Okay, now that we have done that, the next step would be for us to read through the additional information and see, is there some more information in relation to some of these transactions that we are unaware of, that would obviously influence or impact our bank reconciliation statement. Okay, now some of you will realize you were actually right, that there was duplicated amounts and there was errors and so forth. I've just been saving it for now so that we have a nice systematic flow to how we actually go about this accounting thing. Okay, so we're now here in between. Actually, we finished step 3, but then we're just reading this additional information just to verify some things. Okay, we're going to deal with this after the break. The other steps we're going to deal with after the break. Okay, so let's just read this additional information. Okay, check number CC864 is now stale and must be cancelled. Okay, what is a stale check? We did talk about this last semester. So if we look for check CC864, you see it's in the bank reconciliation statement for February. Okay, it's the very first check there. So remember, we had written bank recon next to that. Okay, whenever you have a stale check, remember this is a check that we have written out to somebody. Okay, as you can see, it's an outstanding check. So we were paying somebody, but that person didn't actually cash in the check for 6 whole months. Okay, so when that happens, what you have to do is then you have to reverse the check. So initially when we wrote out the check, it was recorded in the CPJ. Okay, so if we want to reverse this, to reverse a payment that was recorded in the CPJ, we have to reverse it in the CRJ. Okay? Yes, 100% Karabo. Record in the CRJ. So we need to cross out where we wrote BR next to this amount of 958 Rand, 42 cents. And we need to write CRJ next to it because we need to record it in the CRJ, not the bank recon. Okay? Since it is a stale check. Okay. Right. Then the next piece of information, they say the bank has recorded check number CC1124 at the correct amount. Okay. So where is this check number 1124? It's there on the 7th in your bank statement. Okay. So they recorded for 131 Rand. And so then we have to ask ourselves, what did we record it at? If we look for check number 1124 or CC 1124, we see it on the 6th in the check counterfoil. So we then need to say to ourselves, okay, cool. What's the difference between the two? Okay, so we recorded it for how much again? For 146.97. Okay, and they recorded it for 131.97. So that gives us a total of 15 Rand. Okay, so since we made the higher amount out of the CPJ, okay, it was higher, it was overcast by 15 Rand. Where do we reverse this or correct this since it was an error in our books? Somebody tell me. We made an error in the CPJ, so where do we rectify this? It's different date. Okay, 100% Karabo, CRJ. Thank you very much. Kamuhelo, both Kamuhelos. It's in the CRJ. Okay, now you asked a nice question there. So why is it different dates? Is it just because we recorded these on different dates, or there's a specific reason? So yeah, there is a specific reason. What typically can happen is, so we can write the check on the 6th, all right? But now when this person cashed the check, they might have gone to the bank the next day, okay? Which, as you can see here, on the 7th is when this amount goes off. So they might have gone to the bank the next day, and therefore the bank only paid out the money the next day. The other thing is, maybe the bank, he actually did go to the bank on the 6th, but the transaction only reflected on our account the following day. All right, so it could be any of those type of reasons. Okay, all right, no problem, Karabo. Cool. So then let's proceed. Okay, so we need to make a so next to that amount in the check counterfoil, I need you to write CRJ and cancel out that BR that we had next to that amount on the 6th in the check counterfoil. Then also in the bank, isn't we wrote CPJ next to that 131 Rand? Okay, I need you to cross that out. Okay, and you can also put CRJ and then put a dash 15 Rand. Okay, right, awesome stuff. Then we go to the next transaction. The deposits corresponding with SL460 was credited on the bank statement on the 19th of March at the correct amount, 17,645 Rand 5 cents. Okay, so we know that that amount is right. So let's look for that same deposit now in the bank. And we see that in the bank on the 19th. Okay, you see on the credit side 17,645. I think somebody was mentioning this earlier. Somebody was mentioning this earlier. Okay, I can't remember. Okay, I can't remember who it was. But now what that means is the bank made an error, since they're saying that nope, I'm mistaken. Was credited on the bank statement on 19 March at the correct amount. Okay, so the bank actually got it correct because they have the 17,645 Rand and 5 cents. Okay, so we got it wrong because we said in our deposit slips, we said 17,545, okay, and 5 cents. So we then need to increase. If you look there, you'll see that the difference is obviously 100 Rand. Somebody mentioned it. The difference is 100 Rand. And so we undercast the amount in our cash receipts. So we then obviously need to rectify this in the cash receipts journal. Okay, so cancel out bank recon over there. Oh, we ticked it off, so just put CRJ next to it and then put plus 100 Rand. Okay, and I believe we ticked it off in the bank as well, so that's fine. We can just leave it like that. Okay, then this is the last one I'll read before we go for a break. The deposit corresponding SL45.9 for a check received from a debtor, or the check was returned by the bank marked return to drawer. Okay. So let's see. Where's this amount? Where's this amount? Okay, you can see it on the 15th. Okay, when you see something written return to drawer, what that means is somebody was trying to pay off their account or pay something towards their account, but when we see return to drawer or a check was dishonored, it means that that check bounced. So when the person gave us the check, we obviously recognize that this person has paid us. Okay, but now since that check has bounced, that person actually hasn't paid us. So initially we recorded in the CRJ that we've received money, but now we need to reverse because we haven't actually received money. The check bounced, so we need to reverse that, and we do that in the CPJ. So we then need to record that. If you look on the 15th, the amount is 8,256.49 cents. Okay, so initially we had circled that. So now what I need you guys to do is to write next to it CPJ, sorry. Okay, which is actually what we had written next to it, so that's fine. Actually, that's perfectly fine. Okay, right. And then obviously that's now a dishonored check. Okay, so let's stop there. We've read through the 4th additional information. Let's stop there, and then we take our 10-minute break, and then I'll see you guys at 11, and then we'll finish off this question. Okay, all right, awesome. If there are any questions, please just throw them in the chat, and then as soon as we get back, I'll deal with those questions first before we move on with our question. Okay, so please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Throw them in the chat or raise your hand as soon as we get back, and you can switch on your mic and ask. Okay, that said, see you guys at 1 minute past. I'll make it 2 minutes past 11. 2 minutes past 11.